there definitely is like a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of flirtation, and just like the atmosphere was so romantic that all those things kind of just led to that kiss.
Well, Raquel and Scheana, I am loving this season so far. I mean, I know we're only a couple episodes in, but what has been the toughest, maybe most surprising thing watching back so far, Raquel?
Oh, gosh. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is James Kennedy's vulgar, like, I don't know. Every week I'm surprised by the things that comes out of his mouth. Like,
yeah, I think it's always the most surprising just seeing what everyone's saying, you know, behind your back in their interviews or on FaceTime or whatever. So, yeah, that's not always fun.
Not always fun. What was kind of the vulgar thing? Are you referencing what happens in this week's episode?
Oh,
that's one of them.
Right,
yeah, that's one of them.
Right, when he talks about your sex life?
Yeah, he talks about my sex life. He talks about the way he talks about Peter and, yeah, amongst other things.
Amongst other things, yeah, definitely. You know, obviously, Scheana, a lot of people have been asking or wondering why you're so invested in Tom, you know, getting his Schwartz back. So why were you?
I just felt like he needed that boost. I felt like that I needed to be that friend for him because he was literally just in this slump and he needed to get that confidence and get his Schwartz back.
Yeah.
So I wanted to help be a part of that.
Right. So where did the miscommunication breakdown happen? Because Kody gave you the go-ahead to kind of encourage Raquel to, you know, make out with Tom.
Yeah.
And then kind of everything changed. So where did the miscommunication break down there?
I think she just changed her mind and was like, oh, well, when I said that, I didn't mean it. And, oh, I had 17 drinks. I didn't mean it. I'm like, okay, but you said it.
Right.
So then I came back to LA and I was like, Raquel, you would not believe the conversation I had with Kody last night. She said she would give it her blessing about you and Schwartz to like make those rumors true. And then, yes, that put it in Raquel's head. But I'm like, that didn't come from just me. I didn't make that up. It started on Instagram.
With the rumor that we made out at Coachella. And then once that was brought to Katie's attention and Kody gave Scheana like the green light on that. She planted the seed in my head a little bit. And then
but I wasn't like physically pushing them together. It was just like, here's an idea. And then I was like, yeah, you should do it. And that was kind of it.
Right. And then we spoke to Sandoval recently and he said, you know, once you found out that Kody wasn't okay with it, you kind of took a step back.
I completely backed off. And like you see in tonight's episode, Raquel still then asked Schwartz to make out. And I was like, leave me out of it. Like, I stayed out of it for the rest of the season. I was like, no. I suggested it once. It didn't happen. I'm like, okay, she's not okay with it. I'm out. And then
I was in.
Yeah. But her laser was still pointed at me, not Raquel, not Schwartz. I'm like, how is this my fault? You're the one who said it. And now how is this my fault?
Yeah. And I mean, we see you tell Kody that you asked Schwartz to make out, and we see that she's really visibly upset. So why did you continue to kind of, I don't know, obviously we don't see what happened, so I don't know how it unfolded, but why did that end up happening? Why did the makeout end up happening then?
I think you'll see as the season progresses the things that led up to that moment. I think at Scheana's wedding, it was such a romantic atmosphere, and Schwartz and I have this connection. It's more of a friendship now, but there definitely is like a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of flirtation, and just like the atmosphere was so romantic that all those things kind of just led to that kiss.
Did you feel bad afterwards?
In the moment, I didn't because I wasn't thinking about Kody. I was just thinking about the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, afterwards, I did feel bad. Yeah.
Right. Was it a good kiss? Did you feel sparks, chemistry, things like that?
It was sweet.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm dying to see this.
Right.
I was like...
Did you think that maybe there could be something more to this? What did you ever potentially think like, oh, maybe we can get into a relationship, or was this just a fun makeout?
It was more of like a fun makeout. I feel like I'm not in the place right now to have a serious relationship out of coming out of like a 5-year serious relationship where I met James when I was 21 and now I'm 28. So I feel like I only have 2 more years of my 20s left, and I kind of want to live it up.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that maybe Tom wanted something more?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's not in the place either.
No,
I don't think. So it was just a in the moment thing, and that was kind of it.
That was kind of it. Was it just the one time, or have you guys done it again?
I guess you'll have to.
You'll have to wait and see. I cannot wait for the rest of the season. So, I mean, kind of circling back to Kody, Scheana, were you surprised when all of these text messages were released then? Do you feel almost like she's playing the victim, or is she really hurt by everything?
A little bit of both. I think she's definitely doing a good job at playing the victim, which is ironic because she said that about me for years. So yes, I do think that's a big part of it. But also, here's what confused me about the text messages. None of that was about Raquel. It was literally about stuff with my wedding planner and booking her room, and that's how the conversation started. So when she was posting being like, I didn't co-sign shit, I'm like, this conversation had nothing to do with Schwartz and Raquel. So she's trying to take that conversation and make it look like, no, I told Scheana I wasn't okay with it. When I went back and read all of the texts, and I'm like, all of this was about wedding planning and just where she's at in her life. She said she was putting on a front, and she actually wasn't as happy as she came off in Vegas. So that part I understood, but this had nothing to do with Schwartz and Raquel. So when she posted these, I'm like, you're kind of just proving my point more, that you said all of this and now you're changing your mind.
And with that, she also confirmed that, yes, she did tell you.
Yeah, she
in
did.
Vegas that she gave Schwartz and I her blessing.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. You changed your mind. You didn't think anything was going to come of it. Maybe she didn't think I would repeat that conversation. But I'm like, Instagram put it out there as a rumor. Kody planted the seed in my head, which transferred to Raquel. And then I was out of it. I literally was not involved. I had a podcast with Schwartz where, I made a couple jokes and was like, oh, would you make the rumors true? You know, I'm asking the questions the fans wanted to hear.
Sure, yeah.
So
did you regret doing that podcast with?
No regrets. No regrets. I love doing my job, and I will never.
I love that.
I will never regret doing it. It was a great interview. A lot of people liked it. It was one of my highest downloaded episodes ever. So I have no regrets. Yours was number one, though. Your episode is the highest downloaded I've ever had on Shenanigans.
I'm biased, but I loved the episode that you did with Schwartz. And I think Kody listened to it and didn't like the answers that Schwartz gave Scheana, but took it out on Scheana instead of Schwartz.
And were you surprised that Kody wasn't really taking things out on you? Because even we see on the episode when she starts crying, because you say that, you tried to make out with him and he said no, she still wasn't really angry with you. It didn't seem
No, it was still me. The laser was still pointed at me. I'm the one who got left out of the girls' trip. I didn't get invited. And I'm like, I just repeated what you said, and now I'm the one paying for it. How is that fair?
Correct. But you'll see as the season progresses in the next episodes, she is a little bit more passive aggressive, and you'll kind of see how that plays out. So
she's good at that.
In the moment, she did forgive me, but she didn't actually forgive me.
Yeah, I did appreciate your honesty, though. I was like, I can't believe she's going there.
I know. I'm
like,
watching this. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not going to say that right now.
She's just like going to. But you're right, though. I mean, she's going to find out eventually. So
exactly. So it may as well be from you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. A lot of people were talking when you posted that photo recently of you and Tom, and he said that it wasn't malicious. But what was your intent behind that photo?
Pure vanity, just because there are so many articles right now with Schwartz and I, that one photo that we're standing next to each other in, and I didn't have I don't know, it was like one of those days that I didn't put that much effort into my makeup, and I was like, dude, we need to put out a new photo so that it's an update,
if the people
right?
are going to talk, give them something to talk about with some new content, Well, here's a better photo.
Exactly.
I love that so much.
I did not know it was going to be that polarizing.
Yeah. Did you?
Honestly.
What did you think of Kody's comments about it?
I mean, that exact comment she left on Raquel's photo could have been on the photos of the text messages. I'm like, you thought you did something here, but
I thought it was interesting that she's using Gen Z lingo.
Yeah. I'm like, the 8?
But whatever.
It took me a second. I was like, I think I know what she means.
Yeah. You and Kody obviously go way back. You've been friends for a while. So what's it been? Well, on and off.
We've been on the show together.
Right. You've been on the show. Okay. All right. So would you not consider this a deep friendship? And
No. No, I don't think we've had a very close friendship since seasons 3 to 5. But even during those seasons, it was never super solid. And honestly, as someone who got severely bullied at a young age, I don't think that with her or Stassi, I was ever able to fully get over that. I tried for so many years to still be their friend, but it's like that initial bullying was still always there. And then anytime they had an issue with someone like James Kennedy, for example, they expected blind loyalty and they didn't want me to be friends with anyone they had an issue with. And I don't roll like that. And now look, Kody and James are BFF. And I'm like, remember when you wanted me to stop talking to him? It's just like, it's rich.
Right. And then she wants you to stop talking to Tom, we see in this.
Yeah. That really upset me because then it's like we were literally in just such a good place in our friendship, and Brock had asked him to be a groomsman, and I'm like, now you're trying to say that we can't hang out. I'm not okay with that. You don't get to control him anymore and tell him who he can and can't hang out with. So that was just really upsetting to me because I'm like, what's next? Now I'm left out of the girls trip. Now like I can't be friends with Schwartz anymore, and you know, we're making a show.
I think it's also like it's frustrating to me that, you know, Kody left you out on that girls trip, especially because you got married this summer and like those were days leading up to the wedding, and it could have easily been like a bachelorette thing, but
she needed her divorce party.
Yeah.
So.
What did you make of her calling you a troll, saying that your world should burn?
Okay, the world burning, I've like honestly cried about that, and I don't want my Viva Verano lashes to come off, which I also brought you a pair, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I don't want to even comment on that because that was really upsetting. Okay. For her to call me a troll, it irritated me so much because it was projection at its finest. She actually sits at home and is a troll. Like, she goes on Reddit. She finds out information about us and then screenshots it and sends it to people and then comments on posts and actually trolls. So I was like, no. That's one thing you're not going to call me because that's actually what you are.
Did the two of you want to be friends with her again?
No, I'm at a point in my life where I don't have the energy for that. We just don't vibe. I can never be the friend that she would expect me to be. I don't want to be. And it's also ironic how for years these girls on the show were like, pick a side, take a stand. I'm like, okay, I'm doing that. It's just not your side.
Do you agree with Ariana when she said that, you know, Tom really is kind of maybe the villain in all of this and doesn't really ever accept responsibility?
I mean, I don't even think villain necessarily, but yes, they're the ones who made out, not me. So
exactly. Yeah, I think Kody focused a lot of her anger and took it out on Scheana.
Yeah.
And Scheana was kind of like the scapegoat in all of this, and very little energy was put on Schwartz and what he said that made Kody so upset.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Kody even got mad at Tom for making out with you?
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yeah, I'm sure he got a mouthful.
Where do you and Tom stand today?
We're really good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to keep it like that?
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten so close through this past year, and I love him as a friend, and I want to keep it this friendship that we have.
Is Kody upset that the two of you are good friends?
I think I'm actually not sure. You're gonna have to ask her yourself.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think it's frustrating because Schwartz and I do hang out so much, and we've taken so many photos together, just like out and about. And the one time that I'm like, I want to post a photo with you, it's so polarizing, and people are like, you're like rubbing this in Katie's face. I'm like, we're not even dating. Like, we're just friends. Like, I feel like I should be able to post a photo of my friend.
And the thing is, too, Raquel and I are very similar in the sense where we can be a little messy at times. It's unintentional. It's never malicious. She had no bad intentions of posting that photo like, I'm going to rub this in Katie's face. I'm going to upset her. Like, it was not, I don't even think Kody was a thought when Raquel posted that photo. It was not a thing. So she just takes things personally that are actually not even about her.
Right. Do you feel like this caused a divide in the cast this season? I mean, were you forced to choose sides?
I mean, there's always a divide. And that's, I think, one of the things that makes this show so interesting, you know? And there's always someone in the middle. So it's like, every other season.
Right, that's true. Are you and Lala on good terms?
We're so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Did that get kind of hairy at all, I guess? Because
the
she
thing
was
with
close
Lala,
Katie?
which I appreciate, is she also isn't blindly loyal. If she sees something that I said that upsets her or whatever, she'll say something to me. And same with Katie. Like she, I know, said something to Katie about the text so that she shouldn't have posted those. So that's where I can appreciate that she doesn't necessarily pick a side. She sees both sides, but she still gives her opinion.
Right. You know, there was some chatter online, people like, well, Scheana, maybe put yourself in Katie's shoes. If you and Brock hypothetically broke up and they made out, how would you, but you encouraged it, how would
Brock
you feel?
and Raquel are best friends, so that would be really weird. That would not happen.
Right, but you understand that Katie was upset
I do,
about it.
but if I were in Katie's position, I would have never had those words come out of my mouth that I give it my blessing. So
especially
again,
when you're
this is where it
17.
started.
Especially when you're 17 drinks in, and you know what they say, like
Truth
alcohol
serum.
is truth serum. So it's surprising that.
Yeah, I genuinely felt like, because I remember after I went through my divorce and I moved on quite quickly, but with Rob, but I just felt like at that time I was so checked out of the marriage. I was done. I was over with it. I wanted to move on. And that night in Vegas, when I had the conversation with Katie, I felt like she was in that exact same place. She told me how she was moving on. She told me about the person she was moving on with at the time, whether it was going to turn into something serious or not. I was like, damn. And I was like happy for her. I'm like, good for you. You deserve this. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have a guy want to do this with you. And so I genuinely felt like she was so far removed from the relationship and was like, oh, Schwartz needs to get off my jock and move on. Please help him, Scheana, please. And I was like, all right, girl, I got your back. I thought I was doing her a favor, like actually what she wanted. And it completely backfired. But she never for 1 second understood that. It was just like, no, no, no. And I'm like,
there's no way you could be a mind reader.
No, no.
Yeah. Do you think after this season, Katie and Tom can have that friendship that it seems like he really wants to have?
I mean, hopefully, you know, it's always ideal to be amicable eventually with the person, you know, you're no longer in a relationship with. I'm on good terms with literally all of my exes, and that's a good feeling. You don't have to be best friends, but also Katie and Tom are in a situation unlike any other where they're forced to still be around each other on a television show, in friend groups, at events. They share dogs, so they don't even have the opportunity to have some time apart to just deal with, you know, what they're going through on their own. They're forced to still be around each other. So I can only imagine how difficult that is when you're trying to move on.
No, definitely. I mean, I know you can't say exactly what happened during the wedding.
Oh, no, I'll tell you everything.
All right,
Just
please,
kidding.
please do. I mean, but Katie doesn't end up going to the wedding, but
No.
she still goes to the
How
wedding
weird is
location. Was that
Can't wait to see
uncomfortable?
how that plays out.
Yeah.
I never saw her. I think I saw her at check-in when I greeted everyone else, and then I never saw her again. She was literally out of sight, out of mind for me. I was getting married. Katie was the last thing on my mind in Mexico.
Yeah. It looked beautiful, the wedding.
It was
I can't wait to see
so
it.
beautiful. Oh my God, it was a dream.
It's going to be amazing. I know, Raquel, you said that you're not ready for a relationship. You could just kind of want to live it up, and Tom's not ready for a relationship either. But do you think maybe if the two of you are in a place where you could see yourself in a relationship, is he the type of person that you would want to be in a relationship with?
Definitely. I definitely considered it just because Tom Schwartz is so kind and considerate, and he always puts himself in other people's shoes, and that's something I admire a lot about him.
Very opposite of James.
Right. And kind of like that's what you
That's
look
something,
for.
yeah.
Something,
Like whether it's Schwartz or someone else, that's definitely qualities that you're going to look for in your next
exactly.
partner.
Just because that is so opposite
Yeah.
of James.
Yeah. How did James feel about all this?
Oh, he has his words the rest of the season about both of us, you know? I mean,
sure
he had an issue when Raquel did my podcast, but also Raquel asked me if she could be on my podcast, and I was shocked because it was like pulling teeth before to get her on, and it was her and James. We did it at home. It was like very chill. But then when she asked me to come on because she had something to say, I was like, oh my God, of course. I'm not this person who finds their friends in a vulnerable state and is like, come on the podcast, give me the tea. And I feel like that's what Katie thinks of me. And that's another reason why I don't ever care to salvage a friendship with her, is because she never sees my true intentions. And even in that moment when I'm fighting with her at Canyon Club, I'm like, Katie, those weren't my intentions. So the fact that you think so poorly of me is sad, because there was a time where we were friends. It was many, many years ago, but I would just think that you would know me a little better than to know that I'm not maliciously trying to hurt you. That's never my intention with anyone.
Yeah, no, definitely. What was your intention in telling Ally that James cheated on you? Was there ever any jealousy there, or were you just kind of warning her?
Look, I know, excuse me. I know it looks like, well, I was pretty hung up on the breakup with James and the fact that he moved on so quickly with Ally.
I think anybody would. Yeah.
I was never jealous of her because I knew that James wasn't the guy for me. I think it was just hurtful that he was able to move on so fast.
So quickly. I mean, it was what, like 5 weeks he's in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah, and my intentions speaking to Ally were more to hear her side of it and be open to what she had to say about the relationship and just bring knowledge to her awareness, because in the past, James's exes, or, you know, people that approached me about James, did so in a way that was attacking me and telling me that I shouldn't be with him. And that made me more defensive than anything and kind of did the opposite of what they wanted to happen.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be open with her and hear her side and just encourage her to stand her ground, believe in herself, make sure that she has a self-confidence that is higher than mine was. And I think she has a really good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel watching that scene with James and Lisa and seeing him kind of break down about, you know, your relationship and where he kind of was in his life? Because it does seem like he does, or at least at the time, still had feelings for you. At least it kind of
I mean,
seemed like,
how could you not?
Right.
You know, they broke up and ended an engagement, and he moved on so quickly. He didn't have time. And I even told him this just as a friend. I said, take it from someone who's done this. I said, I got a divorce. I got right into another relationship. Like, same amount of time when he started dating Ally. It was maybe 5 weeks, and I was dating Rob. I never processed the divorce. So then when my relationship with Rob exploded, it was like 2 heartbreaks at once. And I was just, as a friend, trying to give him some advice, which obviously was not taken well. And just like, leave me alone, let me live. And I'm like, okay, just trying to help. But.
Right. How did that scene make you feel?
Which scene was
With
it?
Lisa and James, when he was getting like really upset about talking, we see it in tonight's episode about him talking about your relationship and where he kind of is in his life, and he kind of breaks down a little bit.
They're sitting down having tea. I think also maybe one of the things that made him emotional was Lisa calling him out on starting drinking again.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think he definitely has to feel some ounce of guilt, even though he's not been crazy James Kennedy drunk like we've seen in the past. I think he still has to feel a little guilty for picking up a drink again. So I feel like that's maybe also what triggered some emotions in him. And then realizing he probably didn't process the breakup before moving on. And now it's like, oh, I do have these emotions still, because like, how could you not?
Yeah. I think I have to rewatch that scene. Honestly, I don't think it resonated enough for me to even remember it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you say in the show,
what you said.
right? I think you say in the show that you did still love him. How do you feel about him now?
So over it. We've turned a new leaf. And I remember on our hot girl walk, I told Chyna, I was like, I just want to be able to be in the same room as James and not have it affect me. And
You'll see that by the end of the season.
We're there.
Yeah.
You're there. And are you fully supportive of him and Ally? Do you like them together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we love her. I think she's a good match for him. So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll have to see. Yeah. How do you feel about it? Oh, and then when he told you that, or when Lala told you that he cheated on you with Lala during your relationship, did it kind of like throw up these red flags where you're like, maybe he cheated on me a lot more than I knew about?
Fun number 1, fun number 2, fun number 3, all those flashbacks were like,
the conversation that led into Lala telling me that she cheated on Randall and like hooked up with James while we were together was the fact that I was bringing to their attention that I kept hearing more and more rumors about it. And I think at the time when obviously I was approached with these rumors, I was in a state of denial where I really didn't think that he would do something like that. And I think I was in denial a lot about a lot of things in that relationship and wasn't really seeing things objectively. Now looking back, it's like, oh, wow, like how did I not see that red flag? And how did I overlook this? And even the way that he would talk to me sometimes, I just like really overlooked a lot of things.
Yeah. How are you and Lala?
We're not great.
No.
No,
So there I am in the middle, you know? It's like she's in the middle of me and Katie. I'm in the middle of her and Raquel. And that's just this cycle called Vanderpump Rules.
Totally.
Yeah, I think Lala has just treated me a certain way over all of these years. And it's hard for me to let go of that. Plus, throughout this season, you'll kind of see some more things of the way that she treated me. And I don't have energy for that anymore. So if you're not going to treat me the way I deserve to be treated, then you're not going to be in my life.
So you don't want her in your life anymore?
Oh, no.
Oof. The rest of the season is going to be intense.
I know. When do we start filming season 11?
Right. So good. Like you said, you were kind of living it up this year, kind of finding yourself all over again. And you did have a couple little makeout sessions. Go ahead, say that again.
I just want to say, I didn't find myself all over again. This entire process leading up to this year has been a self-discovery journey. And I think there's a misconception like, oh, Raquel must have been so scared to be so silenced and like James must have had that effect on her. That silence is something that I've struggled with my entire life. And I've always challenged myself to push myself outside of my comfort zone because I knew that if I was able to overcome that challenge, that I would have the confidence that I've always wanted. So I feel like we're there.
Yeah.
And if it, like all of these things had to have happened for me to learn my own lessons and for me to find my own worth. So I'm just thankful for all of it.
Good for you. That's awesome. It's so good to see you in such a great place and, overcoming a lot. So that's really fantastic. But I know you kissed a lot of frogs along the way.
And I'm probably going to kiss a few more.
Yeah.
Do you regret maybe Peter at all?
I've heard shout out to Watch What Crappens because they referred to Peter as like the pony, like a pony horse, like the starting pony, basically.
Okay.
Like getting back into a relationship. He's a great starting pony because like he's a great
had a
guy.
Friendship.
Yeah,
and
I trust him. I know who he is. I'm not going to be like, we have a friendship already. And he's a good guy. He's not going to mistreat me. So it was a good, like,
such a good guy.
First date kind of stuffing back into the dating world.
Perfect person, I think, to get your feet back in, to feel safe to cry in front of, and just to be completely yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was always a shoulder for me to cry on. That date that I had with him was not the first time that I cried in front of him.
Yeah.
You're dipping your toe back in the water.
Yeah.
Oliver, regret that one?
Yes. Major regret. Yeah.
But also, how could she know when a man lies to your face and then cheats on your wife, like cheats on the wife on camera? Why would you ever think this person, when they said they're separated, they might still be together? Like, why would you think that when there's cameras? Who does that?
Totally. It's bad. It's messy.
Totally.
Yeah. Regret Tom at all?
No, not at all.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah. And he doesn't regret it either. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't. How's Summer doing?
She is so good. She's almost 2 next month. So crazy. You see like a little snippet, her debut on tonight's episode, and I'm like, who is that little baby? Her hair's so short. She grows so much, but I mean, I see her every day. So I don't see those drastic changes as when I watch back from July, I'm like, oh my gosh.
So much changes. So fast.
And it's so fun just watching her learn the world and figure things out and starting to form sentences. It is just the best thing.
Are you itching for baby number 2?
Nope.
I feel like that's a hard no.
I want to give her a sibling because I don't want to leave her alone one day. But I'm just not ready.
Yeah. Enjoy this moment.
No, I had a very traumatic labor, the miscarriage. So
Not ready for that.
Yeah, no. Enjoy every single second of it. Is she just like you?
Yeah, she's literally a perfect mix
clone?
of me and Brock. I mean, she looks exactly like I did as a baby. It's so crazy.
She's so pretty. She's so cute.
Yeah.
She like has the most adorable personality.
She really does.
She's smart. She's talking now.
Yeah.
It's insane. And like just I don't know. Her face is just so cute.
Oh, it's so cute.
so cute.
I
She's so
know.
cute. She's
I
beautiful.
FaceTimed them when we were on the way, and I guess she was watching something on Brock's phone. And she's like, YouTube. Bye, Mommy. I was like, oh, sorry. Did I interrupt Miss Rachel? My bad.
We're getting the sassy already. I love it.
Already.
Love to
And
see
she
it.
knows how to hang up. Like, she hits the red X and was like, bye, we're done. I'm like, okay, love you too.
Right? I love it.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.